Welcome, Sacramento soccer fans, to the State of the Republic podcast. I'm your host, Luis, and in today's episode, we have a few things to talk about. First things first, we're going to talk about yesterday's amazing comeback win in a game that we've never seen before. All kinds of things happen, but ultimately we end up pulling up with a 3-2 win against Orange County. And we said it on the podcast last week, those games against Orange County are never easy, and there you go. Here's another example why we were 12 wins to both sides before yesterday. Now, of course, we're 13 wins, 12 losses, 8 ties in our historical matchup against them. We'll also, of course, mention the new away kit that we actually were able to use in yesterday's match. We'll review it here. And then, of course, we'll look at our upcoming game, which is in USL Cup against Oakland at the Coliseum. And that game won't happen until May 16th. So we have a full week off. We're going to try and hopefully get some interviews here in the mix so we can actually share something for y'all next week. But we'll talk about what Oakland Roots recent form is like, and then what game they're going to be playing here before they play against us. And then, of course, we'll look at podcast winner dinner, goals of gratitude, all the stuff that we usually cover towards the end of the podcast. So let's go ahead and introduce our team here. We have a full lineup tonight. But first, since she was out last week, let's go over to Elk Grove with Sharon. How's it going, Sharon? Welcome back.
Thank you. And it's good to be back. It's good to see you guys. Saw you guys just briefly before we got all started, and you shoved us off the screen. It's good to be back. I'm a little bit tired. I may have had a couple sips of a margarita yesterday, and I normally don't drink tequila. So just a little tired, a little crusty.
Yeah, well, after yesterday's game, I think it was a good game to.
I got the margarita at halftime when we were like having troubles, and it's kind of like I'm gonna go get a drink. So then, little did I know that things would turn around. But thankfully, and this is not a goals of gratitude. Shout out to Juanita who sits behind me. It was her birthday, so I gave half my margarita to her since she drinks margaritas. So she saved my life.
Oh, there you go. She might be the reason why we won then, right? The birthday luck came through.
We'll go with that.
Next, let's go over to Rian, who is, of course, as is tradition, especially after beating Orange County, wearing Oakland Roots gear. So how's it going, Rian? What jersey you got for us today?
I got this Oakland Roots away jersey, and damn, do I feel so gross wearing it. It looks beautiful, but like at the same time, I gotta do it for the bit. And like, it sucks to wear it, but still, happy to be here. Happy to be talking about the Republic. Yeah, there's so much to dissect in that last match, and happy to get into it.
Yeah, I can't wait for us to share the highlights and talk more about each of the goals and the situations that happen. And then, of course, next, let's go over to Texas with Jared. How's it going, man?
I'm sure Rihanna's just feeling unclean, must wash. Things are going good over here. Weather's, of course, getting flippy-floppy again. Excellent game last night. I mean, I was supposed to go to bed at a decent hour last night, but that ain't happening thanks to all the goodness that was happening during the match. And I can't wait to get into that. And then also, we'll discuss podcast chicken winner dinner. I'm finally in double digits. Finally.
And you could be well beyond that, right? Because the next game is a cup game and there's more points. So anything can happen there on that front. But yeah, I mean, what a match yesterday. To all the people who left early, I feel bad for them because usually there's always people that leave 5-10 minutes before. They probably couldn't believe it when they saw what had just happened, right? Most of those people were probably like, we lost. That's the end of it. But who would have thought, right, that we would have had 2 goals in such a short amount of time, especially the last one. But I won't get ahead of myself there. But let's go ahead and talk about the 3-2 win, comeback win. And let's go first to you, Sharon, since you were the only one who was at the match. And just let us know, what was it like at the stadium? New kit, celebration, of course, too. And again, a game against Orange County, which is never easy. Oh, you got mute again.
I'm up to my old tricks. I forget to unmute myself because I've not been on a podcast in a little while. So sorry, guys. No, game, it was chippy. It was tough. We expected it. Atmosphere was great. I thought there were a lot of kids at the match yesterday. So the stands were full in pockets. There weren't very many Orange County fans in the crowd that I could spot. I spotted 4 on the far side. If in reverse, I think we usually have more fans attending an away match. So I was a little shocked that we didn't have a huge turnout in their designated section. But at the end of the day, I think we had more possession, and it was more meaningful possession going forward. It was actually, I thought Pep Casas did a good job. Okay, so when you don't notice his mistakes, sometimes you forget the plays that he does make that are successful, because he wasn't making mistakes last night. His passes were really accurate, and he was a key to the defense, because we had Lee and Aaron Essel playing together in a role that's normally Freddie Kleeman and Lee. So it was really kind of it was something we had to get used to. Aaron's been asked to play so many different positions, and now he's playing center back next to Lee. And then we had Ryan Spalding, we had Jack out there, we had our favorite Michel Benitez. We had a lot of our usual guys on the field, and Arturo, and we had great strikers up top. We were waiting for more finishing. I don't know if that's a good way to put it. I think we had some chances. It felt like Orange County saw initially more chances, but the game itself was so end to end. It wasn't like compressed through the middle, because both teams, the minute they would get possession, they pressed. And Rian, if you watch the match, you'll let me know if I'm wrong. And like when OC got possession, they pressed, they moved up. So there wasn't a whole lot of room to get in behind. There were some offside calls, obviously ones that we thought weren't correct, like the one against Malongo. But at the end of the day, rewatching the match today on television, it confirmed that I was wrong in the stands, thinking that the official had made some bad calls. He didn't really. Just the one where the player flopped. You could even hear my sister and I on the broadcast yelling flop or any. So that being said, I think we got that one right. That bad call correct in response to the referee's bad call. But at the end of the day, I mean, you could tell that both teams really wanted to win this, and it did feel, as Adam Moffat and Rob McAllister said, it felt like a playoff match. It freaking felt like we were in October, November, and fighting for our lives in playoff, because there was that much pressure. The guys were out there performing. You could tell there was fairly good 90 minutes of concentration. The other thing that we saw when we were out there was a different coach. That he was really calm with the players, essentially very encouraging with the players, very much discouraging against the officials. And from what they could see, was the same vantage point that I could see. I was just a little higher up, so it was feisty, and it was a good match. It was exciting, end to end play. I was away from the stands on the second, our second goal, or the first goal. I forget which one it was. I didn't see one of the goals, and everybody thanked me when I came back, and they wanted me to leave again, so we would score more. But that's my take on it until we get into specific situations, that Rian will bring up and that y'all will bring up. But it was exciting to the very end. And like you said, Luis, anybody who left early, their folks next to us, they left at halftime. What were they thinking?
I'm gonna pop in here. Sharon, to your point with Pep Casas, he had a passing accuracy of 86% in the match against Orange County. when he's been averaging around like 76%. So he's a full 10% higher than what he's been averaging in the league. My thoughts on the match overall is that was probably the craziest match we've seen from the Republic in like a long time, maybe ever. Maybe Miracle at Bonnie kind of level crazy, you know? Just end-to-end kind of stuff. It really was a tale of two halves for the Republic attack. In the first half, I have the numbers here. They had 7 shots to Orange County 6, but none of them were on target. And by the end of the game, oh shoot, I really wish I had that number. By the end of the game, it was a 6 to 5 advantage for the Republic on shots on target. Like, we saw what the Republic wanted to do in the first half. They wanted to like launch balls into like a Jago, Malongo, into the box, and they just weren't finding their targets. But when they do find that consistency in the box, when they do find their moments, like the Republic can get rolling, and the Republic can take it to the best of them. Like, Orange County allowed 3 goals in the league so far this season, and the Republic just put another 3 on top of them. Like, that's crazy. Like, Orange County was like the number 1 rated defense heading into this game, and the Republic just blew right through them. That's not to say that Orange County had their shots as well. They had some great opportunities. The first goal was something. The second goal was another like moment from them. Like this was just, this is just a great match, and if you're a neutral just watching this, like, you got your money's worth watching this match.
Totally got my money's worth watching it last night live, except for the one moment, and then rewatching it today. It was just, and listening to Rob and Adam was a bonus, because they were dissecting some of the questions that a lot of us had, and were confirming, because they had the ability to see the replay from different angles. And there was one replay of number one, the guy going down when Jago ran by him. No, Essel ran by him, and the dude just fell down. So it's just, I totally agree everything you just said. And look at the FOTMOB scores. Look at these scores. Benitez getting a 7.8, Malongo getting a 7.2, Jago not as effective as normal, but that's okay, probably because, things. And Arturo Rodriguez getting an 8.4, deservedly earning Tower Bridge Battalion Man of the Match. Can't wait to see his goal. That was spectacular, because he's not as tall as the players that were around him, and he did 2 things correctly to get that goal, aside from getting a beautiful cross. But yeah.
Yeah, Jared, do you have some done?
Hey, I'm definitely loving the fact that Arturo's got bumped up to 8.4 on the score here. I mean, he did ball out, especially in the first half here, and I know Jack Gurr, he definitely put in some work. Still has a decent score here. Wolf, he second game, of course there's going to be a little bit of jitters here and there. I mean, the man did score his first goal with us in the first 5 minutes, so there's really not a whole lot he can do to top that. But I'm certainly game to see that happen, though. And then Essel, of course, getting called for the call that the Orange County player basically tripped on his own shoes. Of course, they're going to call that against us. But other than that, excellent scores here. Definitely some improvement can be done, but still excellent effort here.
Yeah, and something I want to point out, it was interesting to see playing together Ryan Spalding, Jacker, and Michelle, right? Like, I think it's a first, right, Rian? You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I've never seen them 3 playing at the same time, especially starting a game. Or at least I don't recall one, but it just meant we have more speed.
I need to look through my spreadsheet real quick and see if that's true. I'll be right back.
Okay, yeah, yeah. I'm curious because I don't think I've ever seen them together. But three players that we know have a lot of speed and can put up an assist in any second. But let's go ahead then and take a look at the goals that were scored. We had a lot of goals that were scored in this match. So let me go ahead and pull up the screen here. All right. There we
Where
go.
do you guys want to start? Because we have that ghost goal that happened in like the third minute for the Republic.
We need to see that.
Yeah, we need to
totally-
start.
We need to see that one, the ghost goal.
Yeah, so let's go and start with the one that was called offside. I don't know how, because if you guys look, I believe there's an Orange County player that is basically the one that ends up giving the pass, right? Because it ends up hitting the Orange County player. If I'm not mistaken. I guess we could play it like slow motion there, but it seemed like that's what happened there.
I think the official may have gotten confused with white jerseys because you have both Malongo and Ajago cheating forward. And so he may not have been able to discern who was who. And now that hands, an ear and a hand might not count as an offside, something that would be called offside. Yeah, it definitely looks like he is onside. Now, go ahead, Brian.
It looks offside to me, and from this angle, I mean, I think it's the number 5 here. That's maybe the
It's the other guy. Yeah,
that guy.
Now I'm looking at it. Okay, maybe you guys have me convinced. Okay.
See,
maybe he's onside.
Yeah, because he's actually running towards the kicker. And so 1 second prior to the kick, he was even a foot behind that because he was the one that was tracking forward. Look how far back and deep he is, and look at where Malongo's taking off. So it's that's a really, really close call. Really can't blame the ref, but it's unfortunate that it was called offside.
Yeah, it's like the only thing else, or not even was the arm, but the arm doesn't count, like you said. So if that's what he saw, then you might need to go back and review the rules.
I'm going to give John Crawford a shout out because he must have watched this back and forth a few times himself. John Crawford said our first goal, this was not offside. So, Rihanna, after you watched it, you're almost convinced that it wasn't offside either. So I like that. Yeah.
Just want to say, good effort from, I think it's Arturo on the ball that wanted like way upfield, like from an Orange County player, and like quickly got his head up to pass to Malongo. Unfortunate to not get the goal from this, but great effort.
Yeah, it would have been another Arturo assist. Would have been good to add to his tally there. And I mean, imagine we scored this goal. It could have been a different match if we get it wouldn't have been as dramatic though, granted, maybe, but yeah. Only we had VAR, right? These are the situations that maybe you get a VAR call and maybe that helps change things.
To the benefit of the officials, there was another call that was made that wasn't made and it was later in the match. The players were actually asking the assistant referee on the far side when Orange County scored their second goal. They asked the AR or was it their first goal? Anyhow,
first one. Yeah, it was the first one.
First goal. Yeah, they did. There was communication with the AR, but they did take a peek really quick at the screen. But our players were totally begging for everyone to look at the screen, the guys to look at the screen. But then they still came back with a decision that that there was no interference and the player was not offside. And that seemed to be consistent with what the game analysis mentioned as well. So, someday we will have VAR, but in the meantime, like I said, I think the officials did okay, except for this one. And then the flop, again, that got Essel a yellow card. Now they can appeal that, I hope. Right, Rion or Jared, they can appeal that yellow if they show clear indication that the referee got that wrong.
There's an angle that. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go for. Yeah, I believe there is an appeals process. But yeah, Jared, you want to go?
Yeah, I think for a yellow. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say there was an angle that clearly shows that there was no contact, and it was like maybe half a second later when he was free of any contact from a Republic FC player that he just ends up falling.
Yeah. So before they score the goal, let's talk about the penalty that happens right in the 9th minute. And at least from my perspective, I think there's no doubt it was a penalty. I don't know why Jack had to lift his arm up, because I always say, right, the moment you lift your arm up, wherever it hits you, it could be, and well, in Jack's case, it's his elbow. You're giving the ref a reason to call a penalty, right? You just lifted your arm. I'm like, yeah, just I would say to the players, just don't lift your arm at all. If it's,
it was going right for his schnoz. He was. What do you think? He wanted a broken nose? Well, no, it really wasn't going for his schnoz. He was ducking that shot.
Yeah. So I don't know if you guys differ from that, but the moment I saw it, I was like, yeah, I can't even get mad at the ref for this one.
That's one thing I've been noticing this entire match. There were more facials happening than at a Granite Bay Med Spa. I mean, it was dangerous out there. I mean, this play included. There were plays at both goals where people were just getting smacked in the face.
There was a lot of, I'm not going to say it. I'm going to get in trouble. Never mind.
I'm just going to try and bring us back here. Yeah, this was a bad 10 minutes for the Republic. You know, you get the offside goal that wasn't the goal, and then you get a penalty going the other way. It's like, man, things didn't look good for the Republic in this opening phase of the match.
Yeah, and I was surprised that Jack would do that, right? He's not the kind of player to lift an arm up like that.
But it led to something beautiful.
Yeah, the stop by Danny. I mean, what a save, right? I was a little afraid it would go in though, right? Because it looked like one of those balls that gets stopped, but then it's just floating up and then it goes in. But thankfully, he was able to get to it right for it to just go out of bounds. So one more for the Danny PK stops. Actually, that's a good pause right there.
Right. So there's now 4 people that voted on our little poll. Like, who was your man of the match? Danny Vitiello. His name came up 4 times, and I appreciate everybody that participated on that. That was really cool.
Yeah, and I could see that, right? I mean, he had a few other saves in the second half. I mean, even this one I would say was a critical save. As much as they do go up later on, it could have been different.
His saves in the second half were save. I mean, they were quality saves. They should go in the books, you know.
Also, just want to say, Danny's relishing this opportunity. Look, he's smiling before the damn penalty is even taken. He wants this save. You can see he's excited to come up with another one for the Republic here.
So Chris McAnich said in our private group chat, or I don't know, maybe she said it in the bigger group chat, she was talking about Danny's evil sneer, you know, and grin, that it was scary. It was because of what he was doing to the player that was getting ready to take the pen, you know. And I was like, I can't agree with you more. That was pretty haunting. I would not want that staring me down. I would not be able to look at that if I was the kicker at a PK. That would just I would be it. And then if you missed, that's the stuff that nightmares are made of. Those looks from Danny Vitiello or whoever you're shooting against.
Yeah, I gotta say I love that stare. He had the look that said, "Bring it, MFer. You are not going to get it past." And as we see in this replay, he shall not pass.
Yeah. Hey, if that helps, keep doing that. Because he's going to have more PKs to defend against, especially in the Cup if we tie in those matches. Yeah, it's going to be like that. But yeah, he makes the critical save, and then we move on to the goal they end up actually getting. Happens in the 22nd minute here of play. And we have it here. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, most of us were still celebrating that, like, save there, and then he ends up getting a clean shot. But I know this is the one that you were just speaking about, Sharon, where the players are going, and then the referee in a unusual thing, right? Because there's no VAR, right? He goes and speaks to the linesman, and I'm like, well, no one else is speaking to them in their ear. Now, you said that you saw them like look at the screen, which I've never seen them do that, as much as we always yell at them to do that.
I know, it was like a really quick glance. I could see that the AR glanced up. Now, mind you, the AR did not pull his flag up. The flag stayed down the whole entire time during this play. There was no flag going up because the AR did not see anything offside. But if you look, there is one of our players that is keeping everybody on side, and I'm trying to remember who they said it was. Was it?
It was Spalding and or Benitez on
that's
our post.
Yeah, I'd have to see the calves and the hair. So yeah.
I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I do think there's interference. At least as far as I know, in Mexico, they tend to call these whenever there's a player that's in front of a goalkeeper, right? Because he's obstructing his vision.
Yeah, but he was on side, so he could have actually played the ball, and then he wouldn't have been. And all he did was just jump over the ball. How is that interference? He was actually going to play the ball. He was actually headed in to like make sure it went in, but he saw that it was going in, so he just let it go between his legs.
Yeah, I still feel like it.
Well, the whole stands, just to validate you, everybody in the stands thought it was either A, offside, or B, interference. Those were the two things that were being said in the stands, like around where I was, and you could hear people yelling that same thing: obstruction, interference, blah blah blah. All the words. But yeah, no call.
I mean, like, to be just gonna continue arguing the point, like, if this is interference, then like every other corner kick is interference at that point. But like, creative effort from Orange County, like, good shot from I think it was Kelly who got this goal, but good effort from Zubak to like do something and try and interfere with like Vidiello and try and throw him off his game, because 9 times out of 10 Vidiello is making this save, like, but it's just that one moment of hesitation that from Zubak that threw him off, and like that's kind of what you need to do against like a top tier goalkeeper like Vidiello.
Yeah, so that's how they get their 1-0 win. I mean, they're in the time being there. I mean, that was the halftime, and we thought it would be difficult, right? Because they're up 1-0. They were having, we were having some moments where we were responding, but then it felt like we still had their danger, like you were saying, Sean, earlier, which was like a back-to-back kind of thing where we weren't careful. They could have scored the 2-0 on us. But yeah, I mean, I'm curious at halftime, what was the vibe like? I know you said there were some people that left at halftime. I don't think I've ever seen that before, but wow.
Yeah, there were just a handful, not a ton, a handful left at halftime. But once we got on the board, then it was a whole different story. It was good. At some point, I was trying to figure out if I got any points in podcast winner dinner, and I was actually pretty stoked when when Jack got the assist, and I saw that Rion posted that I got a point on that. But the vibe at halftime, it's funny. This team and their quality this year and their never say die attitude that we've been seeing unfold game after game. I don't know that anybody was in a panic except for the part about it felt like the officiating was lopsided. So that was a hole that some of our fans felt like we couldn't dig out of. But our players are different than that. I think at halftime, what must have been said was, we don't give up till the final whistle. We don't call it in. So you could see that, and even when the subs came on, like Blake Willie wanted to, he was ready to come on. Everybody was just ready to come in. Kyle Edwards was ready to come in and do his job. All the subs were ready. They wanted to come in. Now, they didn't start warming up. I have to give you a little thing. Remember at the last game when Freddie Kleeman got injured, the coach was furious that the bench hadn't started warming up at 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
This time, the bench wasn't warming up at 30 minutes. It was 35 minutes when the bench started to do their warm-ups.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's okay, because you want them to warm up for the same amount of time again that they did their activation before the match. And the activation before the match is usually around 25 minutes long, right? So if you do the math, the activation should start around the 35th minute and then go briefly. They run into the locker room, hear a couple things, and then come back out and continue their activation in case they have to be subbed in at halftime. So the 35th minute, the guys were up off the bench. Nobody was getting yelled at. They were doing their jobs. Activation occurred. Everybody was warming up. So I just wanted to throw that one back out there, that there was no yelling. There's no yelling. It worked.
Yeah, no, that worked out as well. I mean, yeah, last week was something we don't typically see. This is more getting back to normal. All right, well, let's talk about the first goal that we scored. Happens in the 58th minute. Arturo Rodriguez off a Jacker cross. Nice to see Jack in the assists again. And we're seeing Arturo scoring a goal. I think, you can correct me if I'm wrong, Rian, but he hasn't scored a header goal with us before, right?
No, this is his first goal ever with the Republic.
So he's showing us that he can also score goals through header, which, by the way, all 3 goals were scored through header. I know, Rian, you got your stats. I don't know if your stats are that detailed for that, but I wonder if there's been another game where we've scored 3 goals via header, because that seems like a lot for one match. But nevertheless, Arturo gets the goal there and ties us up, and we were feeling great, right? Responding somewhat early in the second half.
The crowd went bananas, just totally bananas. And when we found out exactly, it was like, it took us a second. Okay, Tower Bridge Battalion got to see the goal because they were right there. Those of us who were in the side where I was, we had to watch the replay to see how beautiful this goal was, because like I said earlier, Arturo did 2 things right. His positioning against a player that's taller than him, and it went in. So, his header was flawless. He bounced it down. So that's harder for the keeper to track, because it was a bounced ball and it bounced back up and over. So 2 things correct: positioning and goal scored. Thank you, Arturo.
Yeah, you gotta love how this ended up being a slight knuckleball. Once it left the head of Arturo, just bounced out of the reach of the goalkeeper. Beautifully placed. I mean, this was just amazing to watch him finally open up his indomitable accounts, especially since we needed it against a team like Orange County. I knew I had a scoreline of 1-0 that Orange County was going to win. Thankfully, Arturo helped prove me wrong, and I welcome that.
Just want to add in how much we missed Jack Gurr and his presence down the wings. Like, as much as we said going into the season that the Republic was going to be playing down the middle a lot, players like Gurr and Benitez providing that width opens up the channels for the Republic to play down the middle. Because if you don't have those presences down the wing, the opponents are just going to sit in a compact box. And we've seen that from our opponents so far this season. So seeing Gurr back, getting an assist, hopefully brings good things for the Republic moving forward.
Yeah, and for podcast winner dinner purposes, we need him to start getting a few more assists there. But yeah, so let's go ahead and move on to the goal that they score on us in the 73rd minute. They're 2-1. An assist by, a player who was not that long ago wearing Sacramento Republic jerseys and now was signed by Orange County, which we should have signed him. I don't know what happened. He should have been signed, right? That's Brendan Cambridge, who ends up getting the assist here. Perfectly placed cross over to the guy who ends up scoring it there. I mean, the guy should have known him, right? I mean, we knew when he got subbed in, who you're playing against. And as if we needed another header goal, they end up getting another one to add to this match there. But yeah, Cambridge got subbed in, and I think Jared, you were the one in the group chat, right? That was like, yeah, look.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Because I knew once I found out at like 3 or 4 a.m. Saturday morning Central Time that I heard Cambridge got signed by Orange County, and I was thinking this was a WWE or AEW level of plot twist. The fact that he signed on to them just possibly hours before we take him on, and look what he does to us. I mean, I'm still flabbergasted as far as why we didn't sign him. I mean, he may have been fighting for minutes, but I mean, he's proven himself to be a weapon, and now Orange County's got him. So, yeah.
Well, it looks like Orange County uses him similarly to what we were using him for, and that is, coming in off the bench and that sort of thing. It felt like we were done dirty. As I said in our group chat or on social media, I said we liked him first, but that doesn't matter. They've got him now in Orange County. I imagine because our players are starting to come back from injury, that was the reason we released him, and we picked up instead we picked up Tyler on loan, and I think we'll get some goals out of Tyler because with Jack back, we're okay now with people who can do the assists, the way that our squad wants, or that, granted, Cambridge had a special something, going with Edwards, but whatever, just got to let that one go. And unfortunately it kind of worked against us, but that was not the end of the game. Roll tape.
Actually, I want to add in one more thing here. Props to Cambridge. It's those moments where you get a chance to be like, hey, you should have signed me. And he on the video version, you're not going to see this because our faces are in the way. But if you watch the replay, he turns to the bench, to the Republic bench at the bottom, and it's like, you know what I'm capable of, and I'm doing it again against y'all now. Like, y'all should have signed me, and he has a point. I was rooting for Cambridge. I wanted the Republic to sign him, and I'm happy that he's found success and he's finding minutes somewhere else. It just sucks that he did it against us.
Yeah, I gotta agree. That was definitely the moment of, as far as that goes, just getting back at the team that he was on. You could have had a bad, but look what happened, basically. So, yeah, that's on us.
Yeah, and to get him to Orange County, it's like, of all clubs, right? Like, I guess it wasn't Uncle Ruckus, but still, it's like, why wasn't it, I don't know, Lexington?
No, believe me, that was nowhere near the level as San Antonio. I can tell you that right now. So this is just like he scored, smiled at the bench and whatnot, and then carried on.
Yeah. So they get the goal in that minute, and it's rough to get a goal and around the 70th to the 80th there, but thankfully the team kept going. They kept getting their opportunities. We even had a post, right? I forget who's the one who placed a really good shot. Of course, once again, it's the
Ryan Spalding,
right? Oh yeah, hits the crossbar, right? But Ryan could have been goal of the week again, just like we said with Michel Benitez the week before. It's rough when you get those, but thankfully it didn't make a difference at the end of the day because we ended up still getting the win. But 80th minute rolls around. Again, these are the minutes when people, we could even see here on the replay, they start leaving already and being like, we lost already, like, forget this. But to their surprise, that we would actually have Kyle Edwards say otherwise, which, shout out to Kyle Edwards, right? I think every season I always say this, whenever you get a player that follows the play, doesn't just stop because you see your teammate, getting their opportunity. That's what he did here, right? Lee Desmond headers the ball, goalkeeper leaves it there, but because Kyle had that ambition of getting a goal, and we know he really wanted a goal, he ends up pulling a really quick header to where the goalkeeper could have no response, right? Because he had literally just blocked the ball there, left it to where Kyle could just go in and just header the ball and get his goal. So what a chance. Sharon, you were there at the stadium. I want to hear how everyone felt, right? Because I'm sure it was a lot of we scored the goal.
Oh,
No.
it was wild. It was wild. Pandemonium broke out because now our hearts are like, oh my God, we're going to split the points. Well, not split the points, but we're each going to get a point. You know, we're thinking tie. It's going to be a tie, thank God. And we can bunker down and we can at least play to a tie against the number one team, Orange County, or the team leading in the league right now, or the conference. So it was just quite a little blessing. And when it was Kyle Edwards, we all knew it was going to be Kyle Edwards and, you know, his gloves and all the other things that he goes along with the theatrics of how he plays. But one thing that he did, and it doesn't always show on some of these replays, is he pumped up his squad. He pumped up the fans also, because he was like encouraging everybody to be happy and joyous and pick yourselves up. And, you know, because when you play with joy and when you play with happiness, Kyle knows you are better. You're just better. You're more focused. You've got that zing, little pump of adrenaline just went through you. So he kind of went around and, you know, there was a lot of hugging and that sort of stuff. So thank you, Kyle, for bringing that same spirit that Ajago has, you know, and some of the other players do. And I think it's catching on, you know, that, you know, pick the player up and throw him over your shoulder kind of a thing. You know, it's just, it was pure pandemonium. And just the fact that it was another headed goal. Thank you, Rian, for, you know, keeping the stats on how these goals were scored, if you do. But, you know, that's pretty crazy to have in one match, the amount of headed goals.
Yeah. Just also want to give props to Arturo for sending in another dangerous ball. Like, finding the head of Lee Desmond amongst that crowd is crazy. And for Lee to turn a great header out of that is also good. Edwards just has that instinct to find the goal, and Republic benefited from it. At this point in the game, I was with you, Sharon. I thought this game was over. I thought like this was the final turn right here. Like, awesome, we get a point against Orange County. Like, that's great. I'll take it. Like, nothing else is gonna happen, right?
Nothing else was going to happen. You're right. That's how we all felt. There was no way, with the amount of time left, that much else could have happened. Seriously. It was literally just moments away from being end game. And then this happens. After Orange County continued to knock on the door to try to go there, get their extra goal. Trust me, Orange County did not lay down and die. This was an incredible final 5 minutes of the match.
Jared?
And also, on top of thank you to Kyle Edwards, on behalf of my bladder, you're welcome, Sacramento Republic FC fans, because literally just about a minute or so before that, I was on a virtual watch party on Discord, and I've decided, you know what, I need to go to use the restroom. And of course, what happens? This goal here. So beautiful head work, you know, all around, getting us back in the game, because we all could use some equalizers here, like our name's Edward Woodward or Denzel Washington or Queen Latifah. We love our equalizers, and this was an amazing one with the header out of nowhere. We're back in the game, 2-2. Let's go.
So the bathroom curse is effective whether you're at the stadium or you're watching on TV. That's good. That's a good one. You don't have to be at the stadium. Yeah, or if you're distracted, like Sharon, like you were unable to see the other one. But let's go ahead and move on to the crazy moment that happened. I've never seen this happen before. I think it's the first time I ever see this happen, where we end up getting a penalty call because the player with OC, which by the way goes by an MSP, which he will not be getting an SP with ESPN. If you guys know the awards that they do give out, they're called ESPYs, but he might actually be on ESPN's No Top 10 on Sports Center. That could be a thing. But he ends up actually like grabbing the ball as if he had heard the referee call something, right? Players usually do that, kill some time, right? Is usually the thing, right? Just move the ball around. And then I don't know if you guys noticed this, but there's a brief moment where he has like a oh my god kind of feeling, right? Where he's gasping and he moves his like hand up and he's like, ooh. and then he just tries to pass it as if to say like, oh, nothing happened here, nothing. We could just move on, right? Like we had 1 minute to go. You guys could see it there at the replay. Once he realizes like, yeah, I think I messed up, and he just proceeds to play it like normal. But of course, referee was there, and I'm glad that the referee ended up calling this one, right? Maybe other referees could have just taken the easy route and been like, oh, okay, yeah, we'll just keep going, right? And not get themselves into that situation. But he was on point. He knew what had gone on, and he wasn't afraid to give a penalty kick in the very last minute of play, right? But Sharon, I'm curious, when you guys see the player get the ball, were there people already shouting like, hey, why is he touching the ball? Or did no one really realize what was going on?
We had to have that moment of clarity of, we all looked around to see if the linesman had the flag up, and the ref had blown the whistle, but the linesman's flag was not up. So that indicated there was no reason for the referee to blow his whistle. So we were all like checking, did the ref blow a whistle? I mean, all this is going clickety click in your mind right away. But because of the reaction of our own players on the field with their hands up and saying, we could hear them yelling, that was a handball. There's no whistle. That was a handball. Because what the kids saw, what SB saw, was a potential for the referee to call offside because Edwards was in an offside position but didn't play the ball. So there was no reason for the whistle because there was nothing that happened. So it's just kind of a weird kind of situation. And, the poor kid, I tell you, it's a learning experience. He's only 17. His whole team is probably going to tell him, just get over it, be a goldfish or whatever it is that has a short memory and move on. This is an unfortunate thing for Orange County, but a benefit for us. But their goalkeeper was amazing initially, just like Danny was amazing. So unless somebody else has something else to pound this point home, because I was there and we were like, a hush fell over when we realized what was going on. Then we got loud again because we realized what was going on, that we're going to actually be awarded a PK. And then Benitez steps up and has to step up.
Yeah, just like he did against the game against Brooklyn, right? Also a last-minute penalty there, like in that moment, except, of course, like you said, here, goalkeeper ends up blocking the ball, but he ends up, and it was dramatic. I don't know how you guys were feeling there, or Rion, Jared watching on TV just like me, but it was dramatic, right? He heads the ball, and then the ball is like going in slow motion in, and you're like, please just go, right? I'm surprised the Orange County players didn't even get to it, but it seemed like it was nerve-cracking just seeing that ball go in almost slow motion in, right? I'm sure it was for you guys there.
We really felt that OC had tracked it, and actually there was some velocity because that was a kick save. So that had a little bit more velocity for when Benitez refinished his play. But, to step up and then to have the wherewithal to see the ball coming right back at you and to just put it back away, that's skill. And the dude is tired. He's been playing many, many, many minutes. So this is a lot of focus and a lot of concentration, and got to give him credit.
Yeah, just gonna pile on the good words about Benitez here. A lot of the times when we see a penalty like bounce out like that back to the player, we normally see them like strike it and it goes like immediately like over the bar and something like that. Like great like mindset from Benitez to have that cool calmness to him when a ball is like coming back towards you and you have like 4 Orange County defenders right at your back, to just take a step, take a breath, and just do what you need to do. Don't do anything fancy. And just a crazy cherry to the craziest match on top of all of that. One thing is that we're 8 matches into the regular season and Benitez is our top scorer. So like that's absurd. But yeah, just absurdness all around. Good job from Benitez to finish this opportunity though.
I'll take it. I'll take Benitez coming up in the clutch, especially with penalty kicks. I mean, it was just amazing that He even had the opportunity, saw the vision that once the ball was coming back to him, do not kick it, do not boot it through the uprights, just enough head power to progress it forward to where it was still out of reach of the incoming defenders. And much like he did against Brooklyn FC, the opposition goes home with just took us, except no billboard this time.
You guys, the goal celebrations for our players were off the chart. So I don't know if you could tell what he was doing in his goal celly. He threw a grenade and ducked while it blew up. That was his goal celebration. You could see him rolling the grenade and then putting his head down like run for cover.
That makes some more sense. I thought he was bowling for a second.
No, he wasn't bowling. He was
that makes way more sense.
That was a fucking grenade, and he knew the bomb that he just tossed out there. And one of the other players that was running with him, I forget who it was, dove like for cover, run for cover. So this was like, so that was a great goal celly. And then Arturo's goal celly, if you saw his goal celebration was the irons, you know, we're sharpening our blades. So that was, I thought it was like, wait, is he a West Ham fan? Because that's their sign. But I think it was more. And then I'm trying to remember who was following him up on the goal celly. Anyhow, it's
a juggle. I think it was a juggle.
A juggle, yeah. And so their goal celebrations are like getting fun, and I'm excited. I can't wait for whoever's going to score the next goal that might not have scored yet this season. I want to see what their goal celly is going to look like, because it's so much fun to watch that. He literally threw a freaking bomb and then ducked.
Well, let's hope that iron sharpening iron celebration doesn't get a cease and desist from Birmingham.
Yeah. So, by the way, you'll also notice that when Benitez scored, that our guys from the bench got on the field, and you could tell the coaches were like, "No, not yet. Get off the field," you know, because you're not allowed to do that yet. So they were kind of keeping our guys from being on the field in celebration because the game hadn't ended. So they have to, you know, whatever. So I thought that was kind of cute. Our guys on our bench were just so excited, and the coach was so excited. But it's like, no, don't go on the field. You're not allowed on the field unless the referee lets you on the field. So, yeah.
You know, the guy who ends up falling is Pep. He's the one who ends up feeling the grenade.
Oh, it was Pep that dove? Okay.
Yeah. Well, that makes a lot of sense. Last week, we were talking about Michel's celebration, and I was a little confused. I was like, did he get beer showered by the people standing there right next to the field, given that there's drinks there, or what is that about? So, yeah, you've just explained it to everyone who's
at least that's what it looked like to me. He rolled a grenade and then he ducked, you know.
Yeah, and as we see this right here, actually, I want to know if you know more about that right there. We were just showing it there. Kyle Edwards on the jersey. I know we're going to talk about the jersey now. What happened there? How did it rip?
Oh, it got ripped. He got tugged on. My sister saw that one. She was like, "Hey, they're pulling his jersey," but I don't remember which play it was. Rion, do you remember which play that was? Where somebody yanked on his jersey?
Not off the top of my head, no.
Yeah, when Kyle goes in, they're all over him, you know, because he's a big guy. So, you know, the only way you can sometimes mark, you know, a guy that's fast and skillful is you hold on, you know, you hold his jersey. I don't think it was done during any of the goal celebrations. It probably wasn't done by the grenade.
Right, yeah. No, he had a rip for like quite some time, and I'm like, there must have been an Orange County player that had some really sharp nails, unless the jersey's just that light. But I'm like, wow.
It is thin. The jersey is a very thin material. It's a lot like the striped kit. So if you've ever felt that, it's a very thin material. It's very breathable.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very breathable. So speaking of jerseys.
Yeah, let's go ahead. Thanks, Rihanna, as usual, here for sharing the replays here, the highlights. But yes, let's go ahead and talk about the new 2026 away kit. They made us wait a few months. I don't know why. I don't know, Sharon, if you knew an explanation as to what happened there, but It was well worth the wait. We finally have another jersey that we can wear, not just our home jersey everywhere. But this is it. White jersey with a sash running there, a sash that has 7 separate stripes, which Jared, you want to tell us more about the story behind the 7 stripes?
And I'll have to try to get a little bit more information about it. But the 7 stripes is in reference to the 7 generations, as far as Native Americans that have been in the region. Now, my bloodline comes more from Oklahoma / Carolinas, with the Cherokee folks, but with the nations there within Central California, the Miwok, the Maidu. It's ultimately 7 generations that have called the region home, that have weathered through many adversities and are still strong to this day.
Yeah, I'm going to correct you because they actually explain the 7 stripes is for future generations. Whatever you do today affects the 7th generation ahead of you. So they were actually, it's called the 7th standard. And locally, this is just local tribal lore. It is, and they even explained it. It's for the future. It's 7 generations ahead that what you do today affects the 7th generation ahead of you.
Good point. And see, this is why I need to gather more research on the Central California Native Americans. Granted, yes, I am a Native American from Central California, but I really need to learn more about where I came from as far as the region here. I know more about Cherokee, and it's always great to learn either region. But I appreciate the explanation on that.
Yeah, and it's our first ever colored jersey. It's got 1 button, right? Or is there 2 buttons, Sharon? 1 hidden behind the top one, or is it just a 1 button deal? Sometimes they have a button that's inside.
1 button.
Okay, just 1 button there at the top. We mentioned the 7 stripes there. You got the UC Davis. It looks like it's in like vinyl, right? It's not printed, like screen printed. Like we saw, what was it? We had a jersey that I think it was screen printed. I'm trying to remember. I think it's the red one, right? Our home jersey.
I'd have to look at it more closely. I did see it up close, and the material, it didn't look like it was vinyl to me. Because the way it fit on the women. Now, if they have the women's cut looks really good on the woman, the men's cut would look like crap on us with boobs. But the women's cut looks better with the button undone, and it doesn't look so much like a polo, because I saw it on a couple of the staff, and it actually looked decent. It looks great on men, whether you button it up or don't button it. Like it is a polo, or it looks like a polo, but on our players, it looks sublime, especially with the shorts going with it. It actually does look very, very good.
Yeah, and it's got the Republic for All patch there in the bottom corner, left corner of the jersey, which is nice, right? They're in that campaign, Republic for All, and it's great that it's incorporated onto the jersey itself. We don't always get to see that on jerseys. And then their shorts, of course, they match the jersey design, which is great to see that continuation there. And just another jersey with a sash incorporated, which always is great. We like to see the sash. It's a part of our identity, of our history, and it's nice that they're bringing it back. Rian, what were your thoughts on the jersey when you saw it get released a few days ago?
Yeah, so I'm gonna start this by saying that I'm a fan of the weirder kids. I like the more creative, like the more like out there, absurd kind of kids. For this kit, like it's a solid Republic kit. Like there's nothing like bad about it at all. Like it's a pretty solid kit, but I see a lot of discourse about this kit being like, oh, it took Hummel this long to come up with a white shirt with a red sash, and like, I think Hummel's not the real like person to like put all that attention on. Like the Republic have a strong identity for what they want people to see them as. They have a strong identity, and it transfers to their kits. Like if you look back to like the past like away kits for the Republic, you see white kit with red sash, and it's clear that that's what the Republic wants from whoever's manufacturing their kit. I love the idea behind it. I love the 7th generation, the 7 stripes. I mean, it falls in line with the other Republic kits. It's a solid kit in general. I want to see the Republic do more, maybe with a 3rd kit at some point. You know, just be more creative and see what you can do with your colors and branding. But overall, just solid kit.
Yeah, we need to bring back the 3rd kits for sure. Like especially that hoops kit from a few years back. That was the 3rd kit. Remember, Sharon? I want to say 2nd year kit, right? The one that
I think it was 15.
I've been wanting that golden hoops kit to come back. Oh my god, I would love that. One more thing is that I love that the design on the sides like runs down into the shorts and connects with the shorts. I love seeing that. Also, just want to say, I think my favorite photo from this press release, if you go onto the Republic site and go to their like press release for this kit, you see Blake Willie wearing a pair of sunglasses, like looking down and like, oh, that is amazing. I love that. Like, look at Willie coming up with like some Riz material on him. Like, that's great.
Jeez, he's becoming the Republic FC's version of Maxime Reynaud of the Kings, busting out the sunglasses.
I don't know if it might be on the. Oh yeah, there you go. There it is.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, I will say shout out to a team for doing their typical teaser videos, right? And in this case, incorporating some of the coaching staff, right? It was nice seeing Martin Vasquez looking at the jersey, getting wowed by it, and then us getting the continuation video the following day with Roro also like sporting the kit. Nice to see Roro like still wear, even though of course he's not like playing and using these jerseys in gameplay. It's nice that they had him there, right? And even the video, right, where they're playing a little like, I don't know, it looked like it was 3v3 or 4v4 indoor soccer game of sorts there between the coaching staff and the players. So yeah, great job. I mean, the team always does a good job with those videos and stuff.
So I'm going to read, because I don't think it's on the link that you have there, but it's the picture with Jack Gurr, and I'm going to read the 7 stripes, 7 generations. The 7 generation principle is an indigenous worldview rooted in the belief that the decisions we make today should honor and benefit those who come after us. This is a symbol of unity across cultures and communities, stronger together today and 7 generations from now. Wilton Rancheria, the only federally recognized tribe in the Sacramento County, is making history through its ownership of a men's professional team and stadium. The 7 stripes woven into the kit carry a deeper meaning, a reminder that every decision made today must honor future generations. So I mean, I get goosebumps when I think of that, because I knew about the 7 standards like 20 years ago. And then to see it in principle and actually come to life here, and watching our tribes in the region understand, you know, the 7th standard or the 7 stripes, 7 generations, you know, ahead of us. And every generation that follows, it is thoughtful of the 7th generation. So it keeps growing. It's an incredible and an empowering feeling to know that we're part of that, you know, and that we're sort of being taken care of, you know, by the indigenous people. That, I don't know, it just blows me away. And thank you, Jared, for being one of them.
Like I said, I just try to learn about my culture, you know, like any way that I can, and I'm glad that we're still here and being represented by such a great club with the Republic FC, as well as with the help of Wilton Rancheria. So I'm loving this.
Yeah, it's nice that they combine the sash with that symbolically, right? It's nice how you can add 2 things like that, and yeah, just makes it a special kit, just like other kits, right? I mean, other kits have their own history, and it's nice we see that represented again here. So yeah, so that's the kit. $90 as usual, right? That's been the typical Hummel cost is the price for it. But yeah, definitely want to get it. as soon as you're able to. And if you're going to that Oakland match, may wear it because they probably might be wearing this one, right? Maybe there's a possibility. And it's always nice to wear those away kits to the away matches. It's a cool thing to sport that because they might wear an away kit at an away match. Doesn't always happen, but maybe. So yeah, all right. Well, that was that. Now, speaking of away match, let's go ahead and talk about our upcoming match, which sounds weird to say, but our upcoming match is on May 16th, which is like, hey, aren't we just starting with May? Yeah, but the guys are going to get an entire week off. I don't know why. You would think these weeks off would happen during the World Cup, early in the World Cup. I know offline we talked about it. There are some weeks in the World Cup, but yeah, that's just how this was made. But our upcoming opponent will be Oakland Roots in the Cup, USL Cup here. So let's take a look at Oakland Roots and just kind of what their recent form is like. So yesterday they actually went out to Loudoun United and actually tied 2-2 against them. Before that, in USL Cup, their first match, they tied against Monterey at Monterey 1-1, but then lost in penalties 4-3. So as it stands, they only have 1 point because they lost the penalty kick shootout there. So basically, I mean, we know how the Cup is. If we beat Oakland, we pretty much like reduce their chances of being first place by so much, right? Because there would only be 2 games left and they would only have 1 point. Right? I mean, pretty much they wouldn't have a chance at first place. I would venture off to say that with 1 point in 2 matches. So even more, wants to like beat them and kind of eliminate them from first place possibilities, even second place. Before that, though, they actually beat Las Vegas Lights at home 4-2. They tied against FC Tulsa at home 1-1, and they tied at Tampa Bay, which we know Russell's out there doing great stuff. 2-2, which is never an easy place to even get a point out of. And then before they play against us, though, they will be hosting El Paso, another not so easy team. And so there's that game in between us. You guys could ignore here because you guys remember last week, for some reason, Google does not want to observe our game against Oakland Roots in the Cup, and they still haven't updated. I don't know why. It's weird, but yeah. But that's the game they're going to be playing before they play against us. Again, in USL Cup is the game. Again, if there's a tie, we don't go to extra time. We go to penalty kicks, and then the winner gets an additional point added. But we want to get that win so we can get 6 points and be that much closer to a first place spot. So 2 games against Oakland at Oakland this season. So if you miss this one, no worries. There is a League One that we will also be playing against them at Oakland. And if anyone is going to the game, highly recommend you take BART. There's a BART station right next to the Coliseum. Or I'm thinking people coming from my side take BART. But for y'all out there, you take the Capitol Corridor, right? I think that's the...
Yeah, it's $27 and it's a whole lot cleaner. And that's round trip, $27 round trip. And it's you just have to go over the overpassy thing. It's really easy to take Amtrak.
And of course, in a few years, Altamont Corridor Express will actually be expanding to Sacramento and Elk Grove, so that makes it another option to get out to the Bay Area. Granted, some of the transit stations will be complete by 2028 and passenger service starting up by 2031, but it's still a good time to recognize that you've got more options to take the train to the Bay Area for these kind of matches coming soon in the future.
Yeah, well, it's great that they give that option because it's not an easy drive to go out there and let alone to even park at the Coliseum. We know the cost of parking there is just crazy. I still can't believe it.
Yeah. We were almost going to take BART. John and I, there was a conversation going on in our chat about, driving to Livermore and grabbing BART from Livermore or even Antioch. But I don't want to leave my car in either one of those locations. And the train from Sacramento saves me an hour drive or whatever it is to get to Livermore because I just have to, 12 minutes or 13 minutes to the train.
Yeah. Also, if anyone is going, I recommend taking the Pleasanton station. They have a parking garage there. It's relatively safe. I've parked there before, and so I recommend that one because, yeah, to your point, the Dublin one, it's an open parking. I've also parked there before to go to the Coliseum, but if you prefer garage parking, definitely go to the Pleasanton station one.
That is if you live that far south and the Capital Corridor is not an option. Yeah.
Yeah. If you live more on the Modesto or Stockton, past all the way over here to where I'm at.
Sure.
Side. All right. Well, with that being said, let's go ahead real quick, take a look at the USL standings after our win yesterday. So as it stands here, we're currently in fourth place. Now, granted, again, some teams have more games than we do, so we're running into that situation. So Uncle Ruckus is in first right now, but they have 9 games played. Second, you got Orange County that we just played against, but also have 9 games played. So both of these two teams have one more game. They're at 15 points. Then in third, you got El Paso, 7 games, 1 less game than we do. Same points as we have, 13 points there. Again, we're sitting in fourth with 13 points, 8 games played. Tied with us is Oakland Roots. It's a shame that it's a cup game and not a league game, because that would be quite the game to be even, right? A fourth, fifth place, same games played, same points. One more in the goal differential for us, though. And then you got Phoenix in 6th place. Phoenix is literally trying to rise up, as their name says. 8 games played, 12 points. FC Tulsa, same as Phoenix. Got Colorado in 8th with 7 games played, 9 points. And then in the bottom dwellers here outside of playoffs, you got Las Vegas Lights with 8, Lexington with 6. New Mexico, I don't know what's going on there with their games. They only have 5 games played, 6 points. And then you got Monterey in last place. They're still, I don't know what's going on there, but I know they just had a coach switch, right? So 8 games played, 2 points, no wins, 2 ties, 6 losses. So that's the standings there. So if we win, we could potentially be first place when we catch up to games played. So we're doing pretty good. It was good that we got the win because Orange County, of course, they're 2 points ahead of us, 1 more game, but we could be above them thanks to us getting this comeback win. So really important one. We could be looking at the end of the season back to this match. That could be that close, right?
So one thing to note about the Eastern Conference, they're starting to pull away. Tampa Bay Rowdies are pulling away as far as points goes. And that's important at the end of the day because it determines if we are ever in a playoff situation, they would be a higher seed. So we still need to win, because last year the Eastern Conference just smoked us as far as points because the Western Conference was like even. We didn't have a runaway points, getter. So just FYI, we got to kind of keep an eye on the Eastern Conference somewhat. I mean, I'm not being anal about it, but with Tampa Bay looking the way they're looking, I know everybody's going to say it's still early in the season. We haven't even hit June. But you know me, highly competitive. I want my team to always be, running away with points.
Yeah. And got Russell now, right? So I feel like that's also, he's been a big boost to Tampa Bay. He's set well there.
Huge. He's done really well. It's almost like they just let him do what he needs to do or what he wants to do. And he loves it there.
Yeah, so I'm glad you bring that up because then, end of season, we know how that goes. And if everything leads that way, people might be making some flights out to Tampa instead of elsewhere, which wouldn't be a bad place to fly to. I mean, there's flights, so direct flights there.
I don't know. I'd say if we were playing in Florida, I mean, look at Miami. It's just the start of May, but they're in 5th. They are on the good side of the playoff ladder for once. So that's kind of a shock right there. And then, of course, Tampa Bay, getting the massive upgrade with Russell Cicerone. So big things for over there in Florida.
Yeah, except in Jacksonville, which is a shame. Sporting Jacks has been on the low, 1 point, last place over on the league.
It's their first year. I mean, it's not like they're going to improve between now and August 1st.
Oh, right. Well, yeah. But yeah, that's all that is. All right. Well, let's go ahead and talk about our weekly competition because we got some predictions to make. I know it's going to be 2 weeks from now, but lots of points are going to be potentially given for that match. So let's take a look at podcast winner dinner and see how we all did in this match yesterday against Orange County. So we basically all got a point. Sharon, as she mentioned earlier, got the assist for Jack, got the point there. And then Jared, myself, and Rian all said Sack would get the first yellow card, so we got the point there. I will say Lee Desmond, he did get a yellow card. I think it was the second yellow, right? If I'm not mistaken. So I was so close to getting that extra point had he gotten it first. But standings are as follows. I'm still leading the way with 17 points, but I got Sharon right behind me there with 16 points in second. Then got Rian with 14 in third, and then Jared, as he mentioned earlier, has now entered the double-digit club, so he's now at 10 points. So, yeah, I mean, he's there. And again, Cup gives a lot of points, so you could cut some of that like disadvantage, Jared. Like it just, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think the trophy has to worry about traveling to Texas anytime soon at this rate.
Could always happen. Rian went blank. Was it not that long ago? Sharon only got 1 point at one time, and I've had my fair share of 0 points or 1 point. So all you need is 2 weeks, and that could be enough. But let's go ahead and give our predictions then for the game against Oakland in 2 weeks on the 16th. By the way, 5 p.m. start time for that one. Interesting being in Oakland and 5 p.m. start time, but better weather hopefully by then. All right. How about Rian? We have you go first.
Yeah. Okay. So for Oakland, they have a new coach with Ryan Martin coming to the club from Loudoun. He's had some success bringing Loudoun up last year, and he's trying to replicate it with this year. With Oakland, players to watch, Peter Wilson and Wolfgang Prentice are their leading scorers for Oakland. You know, shots, chances created. So Republic have their hands full with those two. In terms of the game, I think Sac will win 2-1. For goal scorers, I'm gonna go with Wolf as my first and Edwards as my second. For the assist, we only get one assist, right? No backups.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna go with Arturo as my assist man. Sac will get the first yellow, and it will be Lee for Sac. And if we go to a penalty shootout, Sac will come out victorious.
All right. Let's see. I'll go with mine.
Wait a minute. I thought it was. Do we go to PKs? Yes or no? Isn't that part of the?
That's Open Cup. Yeah, for the USL Cup, it's which team would win if we go to penalty.
Okay.
Yeah, because with the Prinks Tires Cup, if it's even after 90 minutes, then it goes straight to PKs. So there's no extra time.
I know that, but what I was asking was not that. It was whether or not we're going to go to PKs. So whether we win right out or whether we have to win in PKs. So I thought that there was one more question that we asked of yes PKs, no PKs, which basically means the game would end as a tie.
Yeah,
well, that was just for Open Cup, right?
Yeah, Open Cup is where we would say that. Yeah, Open Cup we didn't have a PKs one.
Okay.
All right. For my prediction, let's see. I'm gonna go with. I think they end up tying 2-2 for the goal scorers here. Let's see. My screen moves around. I'm gonna go with the Wolf, and then I'm gonna go with Arturo. For the first assist, I'm gonna go with Jack. First yellow card, I'm gonna go with Sac. First player to get the yellow card, I'm gonna go with Essel. And then for penalty kicks, if they go to penalty kicks, I think Sac gets the win there. All right, Jared.
All right, you know I'm feeling so much swagger with this defeat of Orange County. I am probably gonna get this wrong, of course, but I am gonna say 3-1 Sac wins. My goal scorers are gonna be Wolf and Edwards. Assist, I am gonna say Arturo, and then Oakland gets the first yellow. I want to say Essel for yellow. I mean, just for how hard nosed he's been playing the past few matches. And then this last category. I'm sorry, what was the last category on this one?
Penalty kicks winner if they go to penalty.
Sacramento.
All right, Sharon. Oh, you're muted again. I was like, wait, my
Sorry,
computer-
just like old times. I am not copying Rian. I wrote it all down, but you're going to feel like I am. Sorry, Rian. 2-1 Sacramento. My goal scores. Ajago's overdue, so I've got him and Wolf. Oh, and Sack pulling the first yellow. Oh, sorry. My assist is going to be Jack. I'm going to ride the lucky penny. Sack being the first yellow. And I'm going with Arturo because he's a bit of a hothead, although Essel's a great choice. If I could have a backup, it'd be him because he's now got to be spending time with Lee Desmond. And if we go to PKs, we're winning because we've got Danny.
All right. Yeah, Arturo could be a good pick. I will say hopefully he kind of like just calms down a little bit more because I feel like he's getting those yellow cards really easy.
Well, I mean,
and that's, yeah.
he's got a mouth, and unless the coach kind of tells him, SF, be quiet, I don't think he's going to stop being a mouthy person. So,
yeah, I'm just worried he's going to get a suspension. What is it after 6 or 7? Is it 7 maybe? Cards? The suspension.
Suspension. Yeah, in league. It is 8.
Oh, okay. I'm worried he's going to get to that number. Now in Cup, I'm sure there's also maybe a number, right? Maybe be lower.
No, there's nothing for Cup.
Oh, okay, cool. All right. Okay, so in this case, just don't get a red card. But in league play, he does need to be careful because he might not be that far off from that.
So can we take a quick peek at discipline? I don't know, Rihanna, if you can pull that up real quick to see where we are with respect to who's leading right now in discipline. Not leading, but who's got the worst record on our club.
I can pull up my sheet that I've been using right now.
Yeah, let's do that. If you've got
it's been a while since it's made an appearance here on the podcast. So there's Rian's famous data.
Yeah, so I don't have this last match in here yet, but right now yellow card leaders are Benitez, Kleeman, and Essel.
Okay.
Yeah, but none of them are close to the 8 card limit for first suspension, and that's also counting that you get some good behavior as well if you get 3 appearances in a row. Without getting a yellow card, you get 1 off your record. But yeah, all 3 of those are on 3 yellow cards right now.
So you guys are smart to actually pick Essel or now Kleeman being out for a while, and rest up, Freddie, get better, heal up. If it's not really bad, we want to see you back this season. And
okay. Sorry, just to chime in here. With this last match, Essel is the leader with 4 yellow cards.
I figured. You guys are smart picking Essel for getting a yellow against Oakland, because he's in a new role as of last night, and it's going to be taxing on him because he's learning as he goes. But I'm still going to stick with Arturo because I think his mouth sometimes gets him in trouble.
Yeah, especially if it happens early on in the season. Now, speaking of us being out for almost 2 weeks ready to play, hopefully Pierre Reedy, we hear something. Hopefully he manages to make it to the bench or something in 2 weeks, and there's more time given for players to recover, right?
Or Jared Timmer or Danny Crisostomo or Mark Anthony Kay. Oh my God, can you imagine if Mark Anthony Kay made a reappearance against Oakland, which is super close to San Jose, which is the club he came from before, and he was just chatting everybody up in VIP and in the stands. He didn't care. He was just Mr. Chatty Cathy yesterday. It was wonderful.
Yeah, no, yeah. We don't realize how many players are out, right? I mean, we have a good team now, but it's there's a lot of good players that are out, but hopefully the 2 weeks help them. We see some names, right? I mean, it's some good amount of time for players to get an extra couple days of recovery.
You know what? I wish I could pick Mark Anthony K for my yellow because I think he's going to play on the 16th. I think he's ready. And I bet you he pulls a yellow. I bet you he pulls the first yellow because I think he's going to. Anyhow, well, we'll see. It would be a delight to see Mark Anthony K play on the 16th.
Oh, yeah. So that's that. Now, have you heard anything, Sharon, in terms of a ticket section, team, maybe like having a section?
Or... I'm assuming it'd be very similar to the last time where we are given a block that we can pick from. And I think last time it was general seating. So it was like first come, first serve in this one section that was above the lower level in the outfield, essentially. That's what it felt like. But at the end of the day, it was decent seats because the stadium was like wide open and they weren't really checking people, for anything. But it was good that we were all in the same area because there were so many of us. It was like 300 of us. Was that about right? Something like that. It was a huge number that made the trek on the train. So, it'll probably be just like last time. And then Chris and Brian have basically said that they should know something for the supporters group for our section Monday or Tuesday. So look for that. Now, I did post a link for the train on one of our chat groups. I think it was Sacramento Soccer Fans, but the Sacramento Republic Fans group page, but I can post the train link. Thank you, Jared, for finding it because they haven't posted anything on the Sac Republic website yet.
Yeah, what's weird is I looked on Google and it gave the links, but then once I go into it, it just leads to a 404 request like it doesn't exist.
They probably want to have the train and the ticket on the same page for Sac Republic, or it could have been last year's link that's now dead.
No, it said May 16th.
Oh, okay. But the Amtrak one worked. So myself, John Crawford, and maybe some other people have already booked their Amtrak tickets. Because I'm senior, they claim I get $2 off. So $1 off each way. So I only had to pay $27.
Yep, I get the disabled discount as well for any Amtrak route, including California.
Love it.
Cool. So good price. I mean, it's great, especially if it saves you a drive out to the Bay Area.
Rian, you should go. Are you going to go? Rian,
I'm considering it. I'm considering it. It'll be fun to go to the Coliseum.
Hey, I'll pay your train fare. It's only $27. I'll even buy you a beer on board.
I'm really considering it. It would be fun. I'll have to let you know.
All right, maybe not a beer, maybe a mixed cocktail.
Ooh, no, that's even better.
Okay, so if anybody wants to, when this episode airs, pitch in and buy Rian some drinks on the train, that would be the best thing ever. And then when we get to the Coliseum, he's going to be leading the flags and the chants down the hallway because they literally make us go through this anyhow. So we look like a marching band all together. You'll be out front.
He's going to be drunk on the causeway.
If that happens, Rian's going to have to review the match later for his data analysis. Right?
Oh, God.
There won't be any data analysis after that.
Oh, my God, you guys, this is a challenge. Let's get Rian juiced.
All right, we'll see how that goes down.
He's going to try to get on my level for the tailgate.
Yeah.
Hey, we can work on that.
Hopefully we'll actually win though, right? And we won't go through the first time where you thought we won and then we hadn't won.
Oh God, it had to win one match against Phoenix. I thought we were in the lead. You know what? Hopefully we can, Sharon, if you are able to, it would be cool to have a game day experience for that one. Take some videos and we can create a little video of the process so people know this is what it's like when you take the train and what that was like. That would be, I think, cool.
And if you're taking BART, you can do the same thing. You and your uncle or whoever you go with, you're going to go. You do the same thing. And then we can do when we get to the stadium. But I'll only do a game day experience if Rian goes.
Oh, you got to go, Rian.
God dang it.
The listeners watch your wrestling.
What is so important on May 16th that you can't get your calendar open? Come on.
What am I doing on May 16th? What am I doing?
It's not Mother's Day. Mother's Day's the weekend before.
So this coming Sunday.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to all the moms, who listen to our podcast, and those who have moms, and those who are cat moms and dog moms and parrot moms and whatever, horse moms. Happy Mother's Day in advance.
Yeah. Rian's like, darn it, I can't use the Mother's Day excuse.
Nope.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens there. Hopefully it would be nice to have some game day videos there. All right, well, let's go ahead and move on to gloss of gratitude / final parting words. So Sharon, go ahead and, as usual, get us started.
Thank you. I will just say I'm super grateful that I made it through a weekend, and that I'm still looking on this side, because I've got some amazing people that have done amazing things in my life. Again, you guys, it's redundant. The people who help me do the cleanups and help me scout for cleanups and do all those things, I just really appreciate it. We did a massive cleanup over the weekend on Saturday morning. I was dead tired at the match. Super shout out to Mike McAnich for managing the grilling of the meat for the tailgate. There's an inside joke there, but I'm not going to go into it. And because Chris was out, she wasn't feeling her best. And for others like Rosa and Anslin and others that stepped up and helped Michael with his meat. And, because it was hot dogs and those sorts of things that go with hot dogs. Thank you to everybody in Tower Bridge Battalion for sounding wonderful last night. Doesn't matter if there's one drum or 20. It is always wonderful to hear the Tower Bridge Battalion. And big thanks to those who do that. And Go Republic. Thank you, squad, for a win and for never giving up.
Yeah, I have a couple glosses here. I'm gonna try and be quick. Firstly, shout out to Marriott, Holiday Inn, and Southwest for still having rooms and flights available for the World Cup. So very appreciative of that. Even though I'm booking a month out now, but thank you for all of them for still having reasonable fares and stuff like that. The day we were recording this is my mom's birthday, so happy birthday to my mom. Golosa to my mom. We went down to the Bay Area yesterday, so that's why I wasn't at the game. But Golosa to the restaurant Taverna down in Palo Alto. Great Greek food, really good Greek food. So if you're ever in the area, that's a great spot to hit up. But yeah, happy birthday to my mom. And also, happy Asian American, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander month to all those who celebrate. So yeah, those are my glosses.
All right, so I definitely want to give a gloss of gratitude out to, first of all, DJ Shadow for announcing his 30th anniversary of introducing, including a song that was filmed on K Street Mall. He's doing not one, but 2 shows in Fort Worth, one of them being on Halloween, and I've already secured a meet and greet. This is a DJ that has close ties to Central Valley over his years. So if he's coming anywhere near you, definitely get a show on there. Also, gloss of gratitude for my mom and my sister for helping me to plan out a trip where my sister and my youngest niece are going to be coming out to Sacramento during the summer, including August 1st. So I'll be hanging out with them for a little bit on August 1st, same time I'm out there. Also to the club for, always being on the ball, just, keeping presence of mind, having an excellent game and making things tough for an always tough competitor. Also to the group chat that we're in, to keep everyone up to date, eyes open on what's happening. As far as final parting words, USL League 2 is underway. San Juan SC unfortunately suffered a loss to one of the teams in San Francisco, 3-0, but they're going to bounce back. Keep an eye out for the rest of the USL League 2, like Academica SC. And, of course, this is May. Keep an eye out for the W League as well, and go Republic.
Yeah, it's a great time. The leagues are coming back, and we're going to start talking more about our local teams and all the USL leagues here. As for me, real brief here, colossal gratitude out to the people who did not leave the stadium, even though we were losing 2-1, even though it was almost at the dead end of the game. A lot of people could have just said we lost, but yet those of you who sticked around, you did great, because you were fully rewarded. Not only did you get to see the tying goal, but getting to see the penalty kick was great. So just if anyone did leave earlier, there's the reason why you don't leave earlier. Even if you're losing, you could win in a matter of a few minutes. So just colossal gratitude to everyone who stuck around and actually continued to support the team. And as far as, again, final parting words go here, check out sacsoccerpod.com. Rion's been posting, as usual, the blog post there, so you can check that out. You can contact us, review the podcast, leave us a voicemail, and also check out all the episodes, both in video and audio format, and also be able to see some of our other videos that we post up on YouTube. I know I've been delaying posting. It's going to be posted here this week for sure. The game day experience for the match against Minnesota. So a little late on that one, but that one will get posted on there. And then I'm also going to be recording a video giving an update on the Modesto USL team situation there. Not so great news, but something that, shout out to Jared here for sharing the article with me. News that I didn't want to hear, but nevertheless, still an update on what's going on with that. Sharon, I think you unmuted, right? Is there something?
I am unmuted. I'm unmuted for only one reason.
Oh, okay. All right. That's what it is. All right. I figured. Just checking there. All right. Well, with that being said, y'all, thank you so much for listening or watching to tonight's episode. Again, we're going to try our best to hopefully get an interview recorded here in the off week and a half off or so, and try and post it sometime. So be on the lookout for that if we're able to get that to happen. But again, thank you so much. Have a good morning, good night, whenever you're listening or watching. And you'll hear us soon here on State of the Republic podcast.
Cue the music.